Today on Seattle Refined, these feline mansions are out of control, and we promise we aren't being catty.
The cat has a catwalk.
And that's just the beginning of the creature comforts in these cushy cat condos. Plus, a pie so good, it'll give you heart palpitations.
You know what it's doing to me? It's making my blood pressure go up.
And 25 years come and gone faster than you can say mbop. We catch up with the 90s favorite band of brothers.
Hey everybody, I'm Isaac.
I'm Taylor.
And I'm Zach.
And we're Hanson.
Seattle Refined starts right now.
Hi everybody, welcome to Seattle Refined. I'm Gard Swanson. So we have a great story for you right out of the gate today about a woman who transforms patios into luxury mansions for cats called catios. But first, a little backstory.
If you're a regular Refined viewer, you may know our own Malia Karlinski. She's really into doing DIY and fashion stories, but there's something she may love even more. She thinks it's fun to make up puns, especially cat puns. No kitten. See, she wrote that. So get ready. Her story today includes a meowton of puns.
The garden is a great place to relax and hit the pause button on the busy pace of life.
Welcome to my cat paradise.
Flowers and statues decorate this special spot, along with grass and a bird bath, making it a potpourri of sights, sounds, and smells. But take a closer look. You'll notice structures that blend in with the environment, which is perfect because they're created specifically for cats.
Hey, Serena. Hey, beautiful girl.
How did you get the idea for catio spaces?
It actually evolved out of a desire to keep my newly adopted cat, Serena, safe. I wanted her to be able to enjoy the outdoors, and so I decided to convert my patio into a catio.
Very
Safe
clever.
outdoor, I know, so a safe outdoor enclosure.
Cynthia Chomos is a feline lover and feng shui expert. She wanted to design a space for kitties so they could enjoy the outdoors. And these catios had to be the cat's meow.
Can you show us one?
Sure. This is the catnap catio. Catnap catio that I designed for my cat, Serena. And she accesses the catio from a 30-foot elevated catwalk.
The cat has a catwalk.
So she can come through the catwalk she can come up on a top shelf here.
There are also places to jump and a spiral staircase.
I have it open mesh, open wire mesh, so that the rain will come, it'll keep the grass, and she likes to hang out here in the summertime and roll in the grass and eat some grass. And I have a day bed for myself because I also know the benefits of a cat nap.
As it turns out, there are a lot of potential catastrophes for felines that go outside.
Everything from vehicles, predators, poisons, diseases from other animals, getting lost, getting locked in a neighbor's garage.
Check out this catio, called the Sanctuary. It incorporates feng shui.
There's 5 elements in feng shui. There's fire, which is represented by the sun and the color red. There's earth. I've incorporated some stones as the floor, which get heated, and Serena likes to sit on those. There's metal, which provides the safety. There's water. I've got a water fountain for my enjoyment and a water bowl for her as well. And plants. So adding some of the nature elements.
Is that a cat chandelier you have there?
You know.
The spaces allow people to put their own personal paw prints on them.
We do custom catios in the greater Seattle area, and then I also offer do-it-yourself catio plans. I have 4 different designs.
What's been the reaction of some of these cat families to the catios?
They are overjoyed.
Catios are a place where a kitty can feel the wind in her whiskers, and humans can relax, knowing their pet is safe and sound.
What do you think Serena would say if she could speak in words?
She would say, life is good in a catio.
In a catio, I love it.
If you want to build a catio yourself, DIY plans start at about $40. Or if you prefer to have catio spaces build a more elaborate cat haven for you, the investment can be a couple of $1,000s, depending how fancy your feline. To learn more or watch that story again, log on to the site.
From cats to corgis, if you watch this show enough, you know that corgis are the unofficial mascot of Seattle Refined. We love those little guys. That's why one event we never miss is the annual A Very Corgi Halloween at Green Lake. Yes, it's dogs in costumes, and if you're asking yourself why, I have two words for you. Why not? Look at those little legs. It's an explosion of cuteness. To see the full gallery, log on to the website. We're just a few days away from the concert event of the fall. Country superstar Garth Brooks and his equally talented wife, Trisha Yearwood, will play the first of 5 weekend concerts at the Tacoma Dome beginning this Friday. I've never seen Garth Brooks live, but everyone I know who has says it's a bucket list experience. If you're a country music fan and can get your hands on tickets, it's sure to be a good one. If jazz, soul, and hip-hop is more your jam, Grammy Award-winning singer and actress and talk show host Queen Latifah will hold court at the Emerald Queen Casino in Tacoma. Latifah is one of the most well-rounded performers making music today. At last check, you could still get your hands on tickets. Prepare to feel old. Remember Hanson, those adorable mop-top brothers who sang this #1 hit? The year was 1997, and the hottest family band since the Jacksons hit the top of the charts with MMMBop. Fast forward 20 years, and the brothers Hanson are all grown up with kids of their own, still going strong, and still making music. Refined caught up with them on a recent visit to the Emerald City.
It's good to be back in Seattle. I mean, Seattle's always been really good to us. We made our first live record here, actually. So back in 1998.
Seattle has a special spot in the hearts of these former teen heartthrobs. Refined sat down with Isaac, Taylor, and Zach, a.k.a. Hanson, before a recent performance at Seattle's Neptune Theater. It's hard to believe they were just 16, 14, and 11 years old when MMMBop hit the charts and propelled them into stardom.
That song part of its success is that it's kind of universal. Like, it is its own, that hook is the same in every language, everywhere around the world. You know,
whether people can sing it correctly or not is a whole other thing.
It's the same, and it's accessible to people.
Fast forward 20 years, these brothers are each married, and if you can believe it, have a dozen children between them. But don't expect to see any of those kids running around the concert venues.
The road life is not necessarily conducive to spending much quality time together.
Even though we're a family, obviously 3 brothers, our individual families are very on their own, moving at their own speed.
While MMMBop might be the most recognized song from the trio, they've stayed pretty active in the 2 decades since, releasing a string of albums. And even their own beer called, you guessed it, MMHops. If you're looking for some new Hanson tunes to sing along to, their brand new single, I Was Born, is included on their Middle of Everywhere Greatest Hits album.
What I've seen also too with the latest single, I Was Born, seems to be kind of hitting a similar tone for a lot of people and a lot of our younger fans. It's about making the hard choices. It's about believing in your ability to shall we say, win the day.
As Hanson travels the country, celebrating a total of 25 years performing together, they haven't so much reinvented themselves as much as they've just grown up.
I hope we're getting better, but ultimately, I think at our core, we're very similar. Like, that passion for the next idea is really what drives us to keep being a band. All those uncompleted songs and uncompleted projects that are over the horizon, that we keep thinking about.
We've been fighting to keep this job since we were kids, because it's a pretty great thing to get to walk out and music. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And just in time for the holidays, Hanson is releasing a new Christmas album. Finally It's Christmas is available in stores and online right now.
Hi, Erin. How are you?
Seattle Refined is just getting started. What a difference a smile can make.
It's helped me to grow and find myself in the way that I love to serve people.
How these teenagers are banding together to make high school a better place for everyone.
These are Concord grapes.
But first, it's a slice of the vineyard. How a great pie can be a great pie, next. But first, we need your help to crown the very best of the season around Western Washington. We've launched the first ever So Northwest Awards Fall Edition. Right now, you can nominate your favorite autumn things to do, see, drink, and eat in our region at seattlerefined.com/fall awards. And if you participate, you can enter for a chance to win a grand prize that includes 2 tickets to see the Nutcracker at the Pacific Northwest Ballet and a one-night stay at the Alexis Hotel in the PNB Suite. Again, go to seattlerefined.com/fall awards for voting guidelines and complete contest rules.
Welcome back to Refined. I'm Guard Swanson. This time of year, it seems like people crave either apple pie or pumpkin pie. But our kitchen bestie is throwing a Concord curveball into the mix that might change your passion for pie. We hightailed it up to the Wandering Goose Cafe on Capitol Hill to find out what she has up her sleeve now. So Heather, look at these grapes right here. Those
Aren't they beautiful?
Oh, I love them.
These are Concord grapes, and they're grown here in Washington. Every single pie, Concord grape pie I make, has to be peeled by hand. So we need to cook this down a little, and then we're gonna strain this filling and add it back to the skin. So
Cool.
you get the color of the skin, but without the seed. And then in this bowl, we're gonna add the grape skins and sugar and tapioca.
So that's boiling. That looks smoking hot.
Yeah, that's hot. You can see how the grapes are a little lighter in color. So this is just to help it break. Oh, there goes the seed. Break it down so we can get all that pulp through the strainers. All that flavor of the Concord goes into your pie. This is just our tart dough we make here. We're just gonna dump that in.
And then how long does it take to cook? You gotta bake it.
We're gonna bake it at like 375 for about 40 minutes.
And on goes the lid.
On goes the top. So we're gonna top it with a little egg wash. And this is just to help make the crust a little more golden brown.
And what's that?
This is turbinado sugar. So it's just sugar in the raw to give it a nice crunchy, sugary crust.
All right,
Throw
let's pop that
the
in.
oven.
Yeah, let's do it.
Ooh!
Crust looks great.
Look at that.
Look at that thing. It's even oozing over. All right, here we go. This is the Concord grape pie, right?
Yep.
And it's still hot. Woo! That is really good. A little vanilla ice cream. But you know what it's doing to me? It's making my blood pressure go up. It's so good.
Heather's cookbook, Big Food, Big Love, is in stores now. Coming up on Refined, a Northwest man practically born behind a drum set, and how he's helping others keep the beat alive.
Hey, welcome back to the show. I'm Guard Swanson. If you've ever attended a high school reunion, you know that some people look back on their teen years as the best years of their lives, while others remember it as a time of discovery that sometimes left them feeling a little sad and lonely. But one high school is doing its best to put a smile on the face of every student. Dan Rascone explains.
Lunch period in high school
Said it was rough.
is not always a welcoming break
I didn't have places to go for lunch.
for some students. For those without friends, it can be devastating.
But alone and sad and like no one cares about you.
And that's why here at Bingham High School,
Hi, Erin. How are you?
a group of kids
Hi.
is trying to change that.
I'm Brock, man. What's up? It's nice to meet you.
They call themselves the Golden Gate Club,
Are you friends with like these people or?
a club with one mission in mind:
We aim to be the person that smiles at people.
putting smiles on student faces.
Well, I want people to be excited to come to school.
That's because school
I didn't really have a purpose, I guess.
can be a challenging place. Abigail Chamberlain knows that firsthand. It wasn't long ago she found herself alone and without friends.
Well, I didn't really care what happened. I didn't care if I graduated.
Well, welcome everyone.
In fact, many of the more than 200 students who have joined the club
Anyone in mind that we could reach out to or talk to?
have their own stories of how this club helped rescue them.
There's other people in this school who are like here and care about you.
It's helped me to grow and find myself in the way that I love to serve people.
So why the name the Golden Gate Club? Well, it comes from a story back in the 70s where a man committed suicide by jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge. They found a note at his apartment saying, if someone smiles at me on the way to the bridge, I won't jump.
So we are the smiles before the jump.
Jolynn Ward helped organize a club a year and a half ago. Over that time, the club has put on a variety of activities and events to try to include students who may be forgotten.
I would hope that any student walking through the doors at Bingham would come in and feel like they have brothers and sisters, that they have a family.
And the message is carrying on. Students are also going to other schools, like West Hills Middle School, to share the program.
Middle school is often a traumatic time for people.
Michael Hughes is the assistant principal at West Hills Middle School.
They're at a transitional age where they're just learning to be teenagers.
That's why Alyssa Thompson from West Hills joined.
The more we help, the more kids will want to come to school and have fun at school.
And that only leads to a more educated student.
Tyler, how are you? What'd you do today? What did you do yesterday?
Each student takes a pledge when they join the club to do everything they can to bring a smile to a student's face. We'll be right back, but first, this refined, shareable moment.
We're good to go?
That is
approved.
I just noticed one of the customers come up, and I thought she was going to ask for the manager to kind of speed along the process, but no, she just whipped out her wallet and paid for the man's grocery. It was just really nice to see that. And then I just saw the whole, you know, just them embrace each other with a sweet little hug.
If you have... Welcome back to Refined. I'm Guard Swanson. Talk about marching to the beat of your own drummer. For 6 decades now, a Portland man has been sharing his love of drums, and his passion for percussion shows no signs of slowing down. Deep inside Don Worth's drum den in his northeast Portland home, drums of every shape and size are stacked floor to ceiling. Drumsticks fill in the blank spaces between. Glimmering in the glow of drum maker signs, he's got at least 6 full kits here and 2 others that he takes on the road. The obsession started early.
I started playing at 5 and started playing in drum corps when I was 7 and played solo contest all through high school and just started playing, and eventually at 15 started playing professionally. It was just natural and just something to do, and it was either this or play baseball or football, and then everybody else grew taller than me and bigger. And
although many of his peers caught the rock and roll and drum bug when the Beatles came to the States in the early 60s, for Don Worth, it was titans of drumming who caught his ear and eye.
I saw Buddy Rich. Yeah. The Beatles came. I started before Ringo even showed up. So by the time he showed up, I'd already seen Buddy Rich and Louis Bellson, and so I was into big band and jazz stuff.
It didn't hurt that his father, Don Worth I, had a drum shop downtown that later moved to the Selwood neighborhood. His early proficiency led to his first job.
I was teaching the neighborhood kids when I was in 4th grade for 50 cents a lesson.
His teachers took note in elementary school.
I would get called up into the band class in 5th and 6th graders because I couldn't be in band yet, so I would go teach the drummers.
At age 7, he placed 3rd in a national drumming contest, competing against much older kids and adults. Drum corps and marching bands took him to about age 15.
I was never in a big drum corps. By the time that I got to that point, I'd had enough of marching, and it was time to sit down and make a living.
That living meant playing in blues and jazz bands around town and teaching. His students range in age from 8 to 88.
Some just want to do it for fun. I get guys that are, adults now that have always wanted to play drums, but their mother said, no, you're not bringing drums in the house. Now they're 40 years old and they can go, Mom ain't coming over, so I got drums.
So, what makes a good drummer?
One that listens, plays good time, but for different genres, it's a different thing. If you're going to start playing fusion, you better be able to play in odd times and know how to play. Because you got to be able to know how to play more if it's asked. So if it's less, then you play less.
All right, that's going to do it for today's show. I'm Guard Swanson. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time right here on Seattle Refined.